Seth, you're getting a lot of camera time here today. We just saw you.
I got a face for radio, though, but I'm with Braden right here. Braden, let me ask you something. George Mason, point guard, but you do anything this summer at all?
So actually, this summer I got married, and I actually had my honeymoon the same year. My beautiful wife, Sky, if you're watching this, it was a great experience. I had a great time, and it was a beautiful marriage.
Now, some people say the value of NIL. What do you use some of that NIL money on?
So obviously, I didn't understand how expensive weddings were until it was my turn to do it. So 10 years ago, you couldn't even make money off of your name. And to be able to be here and to make some money off of my name is a great honor.
Talk about your team. You're the lone returning starter.
Yep.
Got a whole new basketball team. Got a really talented freshman big.
Yeah.
How has your role changed, and who surprised you in terms of through the summer and the start of the season?
I think that the role I got to step into is more of a scoring while being more of a leader, especially as the returning player. I know the plays. I know what the coaches are looking for. I can help the players out. Transfers, freshmen. You know how it is, the freshmen. You got to transition. It is what it is.
Redefine playing hard.
Yeah, you got to play really, really hard, especially playing for Coach Skin. He's an easygoing coach, but he can get hectic sometimes, and it's for the better.
Now, like, people see Coach Skin, and that guy's always dressed really nice. I mean, he doesn't have the coach shoes. I'm not sure about that. No one has those. But, I mean, he's kind of put together, carries himself well, was a good player.
Yeah.
But in practice, how has his personality changed once you get into practice in terms of accountability?
Yeah, I think that his whole motto is, like, hard work and discipline. And I think that carries both off and on the court, whether he's coaching and whether he's with his family. I think that when he is on the court, he gets into go mode. He gets into attack mode. Whether he's attacking me, whether he's attacking our players, it's all for the better. It's going to make us a better team.
Braden, pleasure. Congratulations. Or as the Jewish guys would say, mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
We'll explain that to you. But congratulations. I'm excited for you, and we'll send this back to the studio. But this dude right here, he is a pure leader. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff, Seth. Yes, he is the real deal. And so is George Mason, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, a team that – has to be reckoned with. Okay, they were tied for first last year at 15-3 with VCU, 25-7 overall. Tony Skinn's a great leader. He was an unbelievable player back when they went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And you look at some of the guys that got back and people coming in. He's going to get them together. And this team's about to pop through again, I think. They were right there last year. They're a preseason 6. We know nothing really matters in the preseason polls, but I'm looking forward to seeing George Mason again.
Yeah.
I deserve a little bit more respect, I think, than what they've been getting. They had a great year last year.
Yeah, Tony Skin, that's my guy. Can I just say that he has just done a masterful job at being the conductor of these young men over there for the George Mason Patriots. And he is under the tutelage when he was playing of Jim Larinaga, the whistler himself. He had the whistle going. But he was an amazing floor leader for that team that went to the Final Four that you were referring to. But it's that coaching tree for me, right? And there's the pride coming back to your alma mater and being afforded that opportunity to lead those young men and mentor them on and off the floor.
There's a lot of positives there at Mason, and they have it for the taking, right? I mean, that arena, could get up to 10,000 if people come in there and pack that place, get super loud, PA guys all over you, got Doc Nix in the green machine, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a fun place to watch a game when it is rocking and rolling. And it's hard because the fans, they've got to expect something, you know what I mean? Like, I was at UMass back in the day, then went to the Final Four, they're like, hey, what's the deal now? It's like, hey, not that easy, Same thing with George Mason. They went to the Final Four. It's like, VCU is maybe the one that's been able to kind of sustain a tremendous amount of success, even though they haven't got back to that level. It's very hard, but I just think right now, getting to the tournament again for them, that's a major victory. I think that's got to be where their sights are set at this point.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they have 8 transfers that they picked up, right, during the offseason and the summer. So it's all about how quickly can they get acclimated to what Tony Skin wants to see on the court in terms of execution and consistency, right? I think that's the thing that we don't talk about enough, right? It's good to do it on a Monday, but you got to be able to do it on throughout the week as well, not just here and there. You got to be able to, stack days and get the job done.
Yeah, and not to bust on anything in terms of their season last year because they were 25-7, but I think had they had a couple more non-conference, either even a little bit more stronger teams or a few more wins, they would have been more considered for like a postseason berth because that's a darn good season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 25 wins whenever you can do that, I mean, you're doing something right.
All right, let's go to the podium again now on the men's side. Tony Skin is with us here for George Mason.
many good student athletes. I'm excited to compete, and excited to be up here with this guy, Braden O'Connor.
Question, just raise your hand, we'll get you the mic.
Hey, Coach. Believe in DMV Hoops, Matt Moderno. First of all, congrats on a great season last year, but totally new team this year for you guys. What's going to be different about this group and the season, and any changes in style and play that you anticipate?
Yeah, no, it's obviously it's part of the landscape. It's part of the issues that everyone's having. So much turnover, not a lot of retention. We kind of avoided that last year with that team that we put together, and bringing back guys like Darius Maddox, guys like Woody Newton, guys like Jared Billups and Jalen Haynes, who have now moved on. I think with this group, we were very, very strategic with the type of guys that we needed. Obviously, bringing back Stas, bringing back Braden, it helps. I think for us on October 1st, or actually September 30th, I feel a lot more confident about my team and where we are from a connectivity standpoint. We lost our personnel, but the personality of our team does not change. You're still going to see the same type of attitude that we had last year. And obviously from a commitment level, these guys have worked all summer long, and very, very happy with where we are this far this season.
Tyler Cronin, 3-bid league. Coach, looking back the last 2 seasons, your teams have been overwhelmingly physical. So who are you looking at this year to kind of provide that physical presence?
Yeah, again, not to talk about last year's team too much, but we had a lot of size and girth with Jalen Haynes in the front court. We don't have that this year, but what we do have is bigger guards. Braden's 6'3", Fat Hill is 6'4", 6'5". Masai Troutman is 6'6". We've got a lot of size with our guards, and defensively what we try to do, the pressure we try to make sure we have, I think from top to bottom with our roster, we have a chance to be pretty good defensively. Again, there's a lot of surprises that we have to, obviously have, and we've got a long ways to go to get there. However, I do think that the team that we put together, losing 91% of your production, 91% of your minutes, these guys have competed from day one. They kind of understand the culture. Obviously starts with Braden O'Connor, our leader and our captain. But I like where we are with what we have. A little bit different, but the style is not going to change.
All the way back, last row.
Hi, Coach. Brian Hyam, 4th Estate GMU. We've talked about the turnover, but with that, how important is it to have someone with Braden's experience and just being able to have another year of coaching him?
I'm sorry, I missed the last part. Could you say it again now?
Just to have how do you see an extra year with Connor, not only as a player himself, but getting to coach him another year?
Yeah, getting to coach him another year makes my job a lot easier. Again, you talk about one of the hardest working players that I've ever coached, a guy that probably shows up a little bit too much. I try to tell him all the time, rest is just as important as everything else that we do. But he's committed. And again, this is a guy that we played at the point guard position last year, even though he hadn't really played the position. And because of his work ethic, he figured that out. He's going to have a chance to have that same responsibility, but a little bit more freedom, getting a chance to play off the ball this year. And so I'm excited for his growth.
And I don't know if you saw, but Mason was ranked 6th in the preseason poll. Not that it may mean much to you, but I did want to ask, do you feel like that's more of a testament to how much the league has improved?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. We were picked last year 6th as well, and so maybe 6 is our magical number. Honestly, to lose the type of production and minutes that we had, I think it's it's just kind of showing the respect that coaches have for us as a program right now with this the culture that we're building with guys like Braden. But 6 is in the top half of our league, and like I said, to lose 91% of your production and minutes, I'll take that.
Any additional questions? Oh, here we go.
Coach, congratulations on a great year. 12-1 in the conference last season, I believe.
15-3.
15-3. Okay, I was confused because I'm not good at math, but I do know it was very good, and you've now pointed out a couple times about all the percentage of points and so forth that have moved on. How do you keep new guys coming in accountable to that standard that you've created?
Yeah, it's part of what we do every single day. Again, our leadership that we have with Braden Stoss, who was also a part of that team last year. Those 8 weeks that we have in the summer. Again, our mantra and our motto is attitude, commitment, class, and family. And the attitude portion is typically, it's something for us that we grind out every single day. From a defensive standpoint, I preach to these guys, as long as you're guarding, as long as you're competing on the other end, I'm always going to give you freedom and autonomy offensively. I think we've got to be a little bit more systemic offensively this year just because it's a different type of team. But we get a chance to watch the guys, Team 59 last year. We get a chance to watch them on film and kind of see the things that gave us some success. And, one thing I'll say about this group is that they're very, very coachable. And they're very in a different way, very similar to last year's team from a competitive standpoint, but understanding the game. And so when you have that type of a group, like I said, on September 30th, we're in a better place from a connectivity standpoint than we were even last year. Now, does that translate to 27 wins? Nobody knows, but I like where we are right now as a group.
Tony Will Graves with the AP. You got a handful of international guys on your roster this year. Obviously, you played over there, et cetera. Is this going to be part of your philosophy going forward, trying to find some jewels over there? And there seems to be an ever increasing number of European players coming over here to play collegiately. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I spent years over there, and there's always been good players over there. I think the opportunity to come play in the States now has become so much more visible. I think the opportunity to come and make some money with NIL is obviously a little bit more attractive. We've got a little bit of a cheat code because we are in the DMV and we get a chance to recruit high school guys. We get a chance to get some bounce back guys that transfer that maybe we missed out on. But then also just being able to tap into some of the resources that we have internationally, myself and my staff. It's a major part of, just kind of our ecosystem when it comes to recruiting. Having a chance to, go up the road and have, Braden O'Connor, who's, also international, that helps. And, he made a great point earlier, just talking about Canadian basketball is on the rise, and we're going to be able to tap into that as well.
Any more questions? One more here in the second row.
David Jablonski, Dayton Daily News. Coach, how well positioned is George Mason to compete in this new era where you're paying athletes directly?
Yeah, that's honestly, we're in a good spot. I think obviously it starts with our leadership. Dr. Washington has been behind me. He hired me. But then it also goes down to our athletic director, Marvin Lewis, who's been very, very strategic in a complicated conversation. I do know this: in the 2 years we've been here, we've been competitive, and we've reset the standard at George Mason, winning 47 games, and that support is a major reason why we've been successful, and we're going to continue to be progressive in this landscape and just making sure we compete.
Any additional questions? One in the front row here, last one.
Tristan Freeman from Boston Brackets. Braden, you were not only able to successfully go from the AEC to the A10, but had career high efficiency numbers. What allowed you to not only be so efficient in your first year, but also be able to play effectively, as Coach said, new position with new players as well?
So obviously it was my first year playing point guard coming into George Mason University. I think what made us successful and me having more efficient numbers came with surrounding myself with like-minded guys that wanted to be better, guys that are competitive, guys like Tony Skinn, who recruited me and trusted me to take the point guard role. I learned the ropes from him. He knows everything about being a point guard, and I took a lot from that.
That's it. All right. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it has been special the last couple of years, no doubt, for the Patriots. 27 wins, as you heard him say, tied a school record, 27 wins.
Right.
First NIT victory since 2004, and really, a share of their first ever Atlantic 10 regular season title. So talk about that great run, of course, of the Final Four in 06. They blasted a bunch of records this past year. So the future's looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, no question. And 15-3 in conference play, and I like that he corrected that because there's
Yeah.
a lot of pride in what they were able to do last year, and the fact that they're studying film from that success is only going to bode well moving forward this season.